All right, welcome to Timberborn. We are going to be starting a new series, the Folktails, on normal. I think it's time we go into some newer maps. This one's a we're doing pressure on the Iron Teeth. We can do, you know what? We're going to do Spillage. Let's make this easy. We're going to do it on normal mode. We're going to be focusing on like aesthetics and just kind of slowing the game down just a little bit and not worrying too much for what kind of comes next and all that kind of stuff. So this is just going to be a nice simple playthrough where we're going to hone our skills on the normal mode and just kind of get it all, you know, pieced together and looking relatively good, you know what I'm saying? So like we can adapt these skills into our hard mode playthroughs, hopefully. So we're going to just kind of keep it simple, keep it fresh. Now our settlement is going to be called Leather Tails 5. That works. Alright, so we're going to pause this real quick so we can get into some basics. There we go. Got the district name. Now, let's back this up and kind of see what we got working. Actually, what we're going to do before we kind of see what we have working, what we have available, we're going to do this the proper way. We're going to come into here, place 2 of those, then we're going to come over here, place 1 of those, and then we're going to do the water wheel kind of down here, but we're going to do 2 of them just so that we can get those kind of taken care of and all of that fun stuff. What is the button for this? T. It doesn't seem to be working. Anyway, we are going to do something kind of like this. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Shift X. That's it. There we go. Alright. So we're going to let them play that. Kind of get these guys bumping and grinding on that. We do not have a whole lot of green area to work with for starters. So kind of let's begin while they're working on that. Just kind of let's see what we have available to us. We have a couple of green patches with some water steeps, and these will only go up so high. So those are going to be useful. I think it's also important to, oops, that's not the button I want. Let's get a general oh. I'm so heck bent on showing the map off that we aren't focusing on the important parts. Alright, now that I think we got everything clear, now let's hit the right buttons and kind of see if there's anything to worry about. What are those? What are those? This is interesting. What are these? Bad tide drains. Alright. I haven't seen those before. I want, so I'm assuming they're just going to spew out bad tide, which, judging by what this hooks up to, could possibly be something that is slightly annoying for our future. But we do have bombs, which could be something good, could be something bad, but It looks like this one's basically a bunch of pockets full of... And we got a bad water steep, which I'm assuming eventually is going to be a pain in the butt because that's going to drain off and all that other stuff. So we're going to need to keep our toes opened, aware, and ready to kind of adapt in other places, because it doesn't look like this map is going to do us a whole lot of favors, especially when moving forward. Oh, and we got unstable cores all over the place. All right. And then we got bad water here. I'm assuming when these... Yep, there we go. All right, that answers that question. So when we have a bad tide, these are going to spew out bad water and kind of deal that kind of damage. And it looks like we have quite a few of them. Actually, it looks like we have a bunch of them basically over every bad water source that we ever have. Now, the thing with the bad water steeps are they work the same way, to my knowledge, as the good water steeps, to where they only go up X amount of height. So if that is in fact the case, we could use this to our benefit. And since we don't have a whole lot of actually, you know what, hold on, we're going to do this because guess what, it would make sense. We're going to leave a blank space here so we can actually walk through, and then we're going to make this water, and then B for duplicate, and we're just going to duplicate that a couple of times. All right, another thing that we are going to need, and hopefully we can do this in a reasonable fashion, is we're going to need farms. So to get these going, we are going to basically get all of this going, and then we are going to get all of this going, and just kind of do what we can over here. And then once they plant all of that, then we will kind of discuss other options that we will then have. But getting some of this going, so at least we have things to take care of, and then we're going to go to 18-hour work days. I am going to path this out, because if we remember correctly, we are playing with the Folktails. We do need housing, and I'm pretty sure we are going to need 4 of them. So we get the housing going. Let's work on some well-being. Let's get a tooth grindstone going right there, just in case anybody breaks their teeth. We have that going. That will work out nicely, hopefully to our benefit. And then let's put that there. That'll help them out. And then because we'll walk through here, we will set all of this up. And it looks like we are able to come down here, but for power, we need 160 and we need planks. Are we able to walk down here? It doesn't look like it, but we are able to go down to this level. So before I grow everything out, let's just make sure that we can get to this appropriate area to kind of take care of that. Let's demolish that. Let's get the science going, because that's free science. And it turns out we do have bad tide that we need to kind of pay attention to down here. Where does this run off to? Okay, so this runs off the bottom of the map, but we're getting some flow from this area. And it looks like it continues. Let's go up, up. Alright, so this is the bad tide source that flows into that. So we will need to keep an eye on that one as I try to find where we are living. Alright, so we did get 200 science. That is going to be of some importance. And I would assume the best thing that we could probably do in the future is probably come in with some TNT and basically drop this as low as humanly possible, just so that then this would fill up more and more with water. That would be my idea anyway. I don't know how much that will come to fruition, but that would be my best guess of how we would deal with that kind of issue. And we can probably come in here. We actually might be able to plant on some of these. We're gonna leave that blank just for the time being because it doesn't look... I mean, we might be able to plant on this. I'm not even sure at this current point in time. We're just going to have to let this one roll, see exactly how this pans out for us. But I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. We have... So my problem is I made another video. I did an Iron Teeth hard mode playthrough, and I kind of explained some things on that video, and then I kind of back drew because I was like, you know what, we got the pressure map that we're doing really good on, we got quadrama that we're doing really good on at this current point in time, and I was like, you know what, I don't know if I'm ready to do another hard mode yet, especially with the Iron Teeth. I would like to, I guess, finish one hard mode. Whether, am I playing hard mode? I'm gonna have to look at, see what I'm actually doing. That's probably bad, Vuju, on being a content creator, not exactly knowing what's what and what you got going on. Yeah, that's probably bad on me. Alright, power. See, we'd need planks, but we could unlock this. That's where we kind of are. Now, because of everything, I would kind of wager a guess that we are going to more or less need something like this. I'm going to place that there, and then we're going to do a power wheel right here. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is because when we get gears, it would be a lot easier to hook up gears over here to this instead and have that, especially with the power sequence that we got going on. Sorry, I sneezed. Hopefully I edit that out. But anyway, yeah, the geothermal field would be better for a gear workshop than it would for the planks, because the planks don't need a whole lot, and so that's kind of my thinking on that one. And since we do have this one's going to be complicated, because once we get this, I'm going to put that at 2. We should have enough time once we put in that to start doing these. Hopefully. That would be my goal anyway. Alright, so I think I got done explaining this. Sorry, I had to take a break for a second. So I need to regain my train of thoughts. All right. Yeah, I was talking about all the other series we got going on. We got the Quadrama Folktails hard mode. Then we got the pressure map with the iron teeth. Yeah. And then, so we're going to do this one on normal mode and see where this takes us. Hopefully we can get everything done. We're going to do the gears over here. Once we get this unlocked, I want to get this built to see where we're at as far as trees are concerned, because I want to make sure that we're able to get our forester going. And it looks like we probably have some... Oh, we got that tree there. I see it now. Alright, and then let's just go in with pine for the time being. Actually, we're going to drop back here, make all of this pine. And then we'll focus on cutting this, making this oak. And that should work out, hopefully beneficial to us. And then now that we're able to actually have babies, we can focus on that as well. But I do need to get a science person going, and it would be cool to kind of like stick this dude way over here just because we can. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not be conventional and all that other stuff. Let's own this map. Let's kind of be weird, and I don't know, let's fly by the seat of our pants to some degree. But we need one. I think because this will fill up to this top layer. I haven't messed around with this, so we're about to learn a lot here, and we need to keep track of this because we're going to have these going on. I'm assuming either this is going to fire up or this is going to fire up, and then this will fire up. So we do need to kind of pay attention to what's happening here, because this could all get kind of dangerous here for a minute, if that kind of makes any sense. We do have 2 of these guys going. I want to keep these blueberries for now. We do need to make a home slice that will do this. Oh, we're having issues. And then we'll just make it, yeah, that works. It looks cool. It looks nifty. Kind of swifty. And then once we get this built, that'll be nice. That'll make them happy. Once we get this one going, that should help them out a little bit. We just need to get them, we need this to get going. That's 15, that's 20. That kind of hurts. And how are we doing on food? Do we need to pause? Nope, because we do have a free beaver, so we can add another one to this. Alright, we're about to have a campfire. I don't know how many this... I should probably know that. Where is the campfire? Probably past it. Campfire. So we're about to see how many people this affects once we get this done being built. And then that'll give me an idea of how many campfires I actually need to build per beaver. Alright, let's check this out. Campfire, nobody. Alright, maybe we need to wait till nightfall. Oh, man. See, I would like to come over here and do something, but like I said, that bad tide's got me worried on this doing something stupid, especially because you have this one 1 cube up, and then you got this one 2 cubes up. If it's 2 cubes up, that will definitely filter out higher on this area than anything else. And I don't even know if that's going to filter out higher when the bad tides come in. All right, let's see how many. All right, so we need technically one more because of we can only get 10. But we do have the shrub. Everybody's happy about that. That can work for us. Let me... We're going to go recipe grilled potatoes. Let's go into storage. I'm going to put one right here. One right here. This one's going to be potatoes. This one's going to be carrots. Sorry, I just watched Zootopia 2 and it makes me laugh when he's like, now I'm thinking like, because he calls the bunny carrots. So yeah, that's what comes to mind now, is when I'm thinking of that. And yeah, so we'll be able to store everything in here, hopefully. Yeah, we need logs. We also need planks. But I need you to be built for us to have any kind of chance to do this. And let's just go ahead and mark those down. Would have been really nice if we had steps down one more time. I might have made it a little too easy, but would have helped. What if we came in, destroyed this like that, came in, put a house right there, path that out like that, and then now we can -1 of you. And that should help us out for the most part. I want to make sure that these guys are always at the highest priority. We do have access to the automation thing and the flow sensor, relay, lever. No. Nope. There's one that I like the most. Nope. Measures the flow between the arm, measures the depth below the arm. This one. This is the one that I like. Obviously, we don't have access to metal at this current point in time, but this is my favorite. Alright, so we're able to make planks now. So we're able to come in here, hopefully, and start doing this one. Okay, so we are working on this one. We're just waiting on the planks to be made. Obviously, that's going to take us some time, but once we get that done, we should be all aces. I'm getting this area kind of prepared, and it doesn't really take much because there's already pine trees there, but I'd like to get these planted first, and then once these are planted, then we can focus on getting rid of this front area. And once we get rid of that front area, then we can put in some oak trees, and that will kind of give us a nice little surplus when we need it. At least theoretically, that's the idea there. Workplace, we're going to put that down to negative, but we are, like I said, we're kind of going through this a little bit slowly, just kind of grasping the basics to some degree. We can get this. I think that's important because if we come down here, these are all oaks. And right now, oaks would definitely help us out a lot, and I think it's worth spending the 70 science to get those. Especially if, like I said, we can get these, that would really boost our lumber materials that we need and that we're asking for at this current point in time. So you can't be all that mad about those. Okay, so they got that built. I need this to get built. We just need one more plank. Looks like Home Slice is coming in. Coming in hot and heavy with that one. We'll drop this down to 2. That should be muy bien. Alright, so we are collecting carrots now. I don't think it's necessarily that important for him to be there just because we have blueberries. We don't have a lot of blueberries, but we have some blueberries. And then once we get this built, we just need 1 log and 1 plank. And once we get these built, we'll pause these woodcutters, come down here, and start basically gutting this land for all that it is worth. If I can highlight the appropriate sections. And then that way we don't lose anybody, and it'll be just a straight transfer of people, and then we'll let this kind of grow and maybe shift beavers over here as needed so we can figure that out. But we are getting this stuff built. What's more important here? Seriously, we need a log. All right. Oh, they just look so, it looks so peaceful. I mean, I wish their front yards looked a little bit better, but for all intents and purposes, it doesn't look half bad. Like, this is doable. That is for sure. But I'd almost guarantee you we're getting our first drought here right now. Maybe? No? That's a little bit surprising. I would have kind of put money on that we were going to get our first drought, that at least today. But looks like we're going to survive another night, and hopefully that will play into our benefit, because I don't know what's going to happen over here. Maybe, I mean, I know what I did in my other one, but I think we have at least until cycle 3. Yeah, I'd want to say maybe cycle 3. It could be even cycle 5. Who knows at this point. Let's pause the grill, because I don't even think we have potatoes at this point, so it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for you to work. And are we not cutting down trees here? I mean, we have a very small amount of stuff. And now we have no stuff. What are you two bozos doing? Oh, you guys are building this junk. I guess that's helpful. I mean, me personally, I'd be working on the steps first, but I mean, I'll take what I can get. That one's the potatoes. Obviously, they can hold a buttload. Nope, that's not what I want. Actually, this cannot hold a buttload. That's kind of crazy. This can actually hold a buttload. So we can put 30 potatoes in there and it will hold 120 grilled potatoes. So we have the potential to have quite a bit of potatoes. And then if we also do this one right, I can put stairs here. And then we can put a couple of people in here. Get this also cleared out. Now work. And then that'll at least let us get this going. Hopefully it works. And then, but yeah, I like the food being over here. That's very beneficial to us. Then we'll be able to stock that. Obviously, you wake up, you come over here, you can have a little drink, and then you can go get breakfast in some form or fashion. And then we're probably waiting for, once again, a log. Oh man, come on people, help me out. Help a brother out. One of you could definitely help me out before it's far too late. Alright, so now, alright, there we go. So let's figure out how to hit this other button. Pause him. Now we can go down there. Once these kind of come up, we can deal with those. It's only 4. And since we can't reach over here, might as well just deal with those in the way we need to. And then Let's just put oaks there. That'll help them out. We are gathering potatoes now. We haven't actually started using the potatoes, and we don't have any food. So, might be in our best interest to play you. We have 3 jobs open. Oh. Let's pause you for the time being because we don't need both of you over there. That gives this job being open. We can now make potatoes, or grilled potatoes anyway. Let's put this here. Put grilled potatoes in there. So then when he gets done, we can at least put those to some use. I know you can haul or store whatever quite a bit, but to have a little bit of extra storage kind of goes a long way, and we can hopefully do that some justice. And since we actually have a buttload, we might as well use all that we got so we can get these guys going to some degree. Let's do this. That's not what I wanted to do. And this is going to help us so these guys actually keep cutting and we don't run into issues of having problems in that regard. Before we do this, I am going to blank slate this up. There we go. How far away? Okay, you're almost done. But then that'll allow us to put all oaks in this first section, and we should be okay with that. But now we're starting to get a little bit of food. Look at that. I like kind of how that looks. Back in just a little bit. Get rid of those headlines. It's not a bad looking village there. Wish we had more greenery, but life goes on. Alright, we are getting... I don't know if this is probably the best use of our time or our resources, but... let's go ahead, build this, and at least at this point we can get up here. I don't know what's going to happen, but we can get up there, and that's at least a start. And I'm hoping this is enough water to sustain 14 beavers. I can hope. We have a couple of different food options. We're already full on grilled potatoes. So, I mean, apparently we're doing something good. Let's pause you. You can go do something else. I'm not even quite sure what that is at this current point in time, but you have the freedom to go do that. We do have log storage now. Eventually, we're going to start building up to where we actually have plank storage, but at this current point in time, that seems a little pointless. And the only thing I can think of is... I'm just curious. And then if I put one of those... Apparently we can't stick that... Whoa. That sucks. Well, that should be interesting to see how that kind of pans out. Hopefully that doesn't bite us in the butt. I wouldn't assume it would, but you know how these games go. Alright, get all those trees going. We are getting a buttload of logs. Probably need to think about adding another house with probably a fire pit. We can keep those there, and then I can add this one right there. That'll at least make someone feel better. I don't know if it actually works, but whatever. And then we'll have this one, and then that'll help them all kind of get a plus happiness or whatever. I mean, right now we're doing pretty good. We got 0.8, we got the shrubs. I don't know if we're doing it necessarily on the food, but we got carrots and we got that. Wet fur, shelter. All right. And then we're pretty much bombing out on hunger and thirst and all that other junk. So not a whole lot of complaints yet. I do think it's probably, we don't even have one of those, so we can't get that yet. Our drought is approaching. All right. I would assume our best bet for this would be, it would be a lot of logs, but it would be to make a wall and then send it this way, maybe. This one has it as well. Yeah, when these things start coming online, this is going to be super interesting. That is for sure. I mean, we can go through here. Might as well, right? Yeah, at this current point in time, we just need beavers. And then once we get beavers, then we're in a different ball game. But building slowly but surely, I like it. It promotes some sort of confidence, and something that we're doing over here. Right, wrong, doesn't really matter a whole bunch, but let's get the storage going. I always hit the wrong button. Do we start cutting all this junk? Sure. Metal's metal, and I think what we can do is if we come down here just like that, let's hold on. Gotta get my drawing skills to the test. And now that we have this pathwayed out, what? I thought these were now free. Oh, maybe the thing isn't up. I don't know. Maybe it's not up yet. I don't really know. I thought it went active yesterday. At the time of this recording, that would have been Friday. But apparently that didn't happen. Maybe it did. I'm not even sure. I thought it would. See, I'm looking at my Steam thing and it went live. Maybe they're waiting to add a few things. So that might be part of it. So we'll wait on that. That'll be fine. I'm not too worried about it. We'll unlock it later. We have it pathed out so we're able to get over there. But yeah, I wouldn't have built all of this and taken that time if these were locked. It doesn't make sense. But oh well, we will deal with that when we deal with it. Alright, gear workshop, that's 100, but we need the power first, which is 160. Alright, it looks like we're fully stocked on that. I can deal with that. Alright. Let's path this around. And we will put a house right there. But we got enough water. We had enough water to save off thirst. And that's always a good sign. We'll put one there. And then we'll walk a pathway out like that. Might as well keep adding to our water stockage because population goes up. That means we need more water. If we have more water stored, then that just benefits us in the long haul. Yeah, I'm saying that right. we are up here. We are taking care of this area, which, like I said, I don't know what we're going to do with. We got a water steep here. That's the one thing that's kind of slightly annoying on this map, is there is no, from what I can tell, there is no water flow. Everything that is good tide is steeped, so it only goes up X amount of height. And then we have these bad water sewages literally everywhere. And there has to be a way we can get rid of them, I would assume, because we are not going to get... That's just cruel and unusual punishment right there. But anyway, we're not going to get to any of these places and then have like good resources because of these. So I would assume there's a way to destroy it or something, easily divert it, because right now I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, there's no way this is happening. Let's play you. Play. And pause both of those. Are we looking on jobs? Okay, I need you to finish planting this. And there it is. So I bet you anything, this is the first bomb that goes off. Which means... we need one in the science hut, and then we need... Alright, pause you. I'm okay with that. So we're getting a little bit of a population dip, which kind of sucks. But what I do need to do is we need to build this up, because I'm going to need to build... I'd do it this way. Obviously I don't have enough science points because it's 120, but I'd build it up to about this level. That way at least this stuff still continues to flow this way and then off the map. Because I bet you anything, once this thing goes active, that bomb's exploding. And I need as much science as I can get right now. It'd probably make a lot more sense if we made a pathway. Because I'm going to need to get up here so that we can do this and then take care of that. Should have all the necessary components. We're almost done cutting all these oaks down. Then we can move over here, cut all these pines down. We're moving to places that we can actually do something with. Later we can do something with this, whether we're filling this water up and then using this area to plant crops or what have you. But yeah, I think it's in our best interest to get 60 more science points so that then we can move that over to where we need it to be. You play that, you are working. I will add another builder so then we can get this done, because they are going to build the platforms before they build the stairs. And as long as this guy's going, we should be in good shape. And then we can fill this up, use this area down here to grow trees or whatever. That's what I'm thinking this area is going to be for. This would be for trees. This would be for more plants, whatever. And we can deal with that the way we need to. Obviously, I want to get this protected before we do any of that. It's going to cost us about the same, if I'm being honest, because if we look at the fluid dump, where is it? Right here, 250. It's kind of expensive. All right, we got one more tree. I can probably play you. So at least we're getting these trees done. You're cutting this last tree down for us. Yep, but you still got 8 logs. Then we can eventually come up here, take care of this. I don't know how to do this other than TNT. So if we can do TNT along this, then that would help. Obviously, once this bad tide comes in, we may lose some of our trees, because I'm assuming either way it flows back here, around here. I don't think this is going to be enough. How big is that blast explosion? 3 blocks. So I mean, we can build it pretty far-ish back. That might be our best bet. Alright. We can pause that guy. And we can play him so that we can go about our business the way we need to. How many days? We got 8 days left. Alright, this video is kind of getting a little bit long. It's about the quitting point that I'd like to go under. I like to shoot for a little under an hour. So, summary, we're on a new map. We're messing with features that we have probably no business messing with. And in hopes to do something smart and intelligent and actually be able to survive this. And we are definitely struggling. Struggling is a loose word. We aren't struggling, but I see the potential to have serious problems. Let's put it that way. We are in a pre-population boom. We are going to need, I would say, more science people, because why not? Not that we could put anything back here anyway. Anyway, that's just to help us get a little bit more science, because we are going to need these to go up ASAP. They only take 12, but we're going to need them fast just in case this does overfill and it has that capability. Like I said, I think it's the same as this, but you never know in these kind of situations, especially if you're unfamiliar with it. And that is definitely the case here. So if you like the episode, you like where we're going with this, you like the struggle that is about to unfold, please hit that thumbs up, maybe think about subscribing, and definitely leave a comment. Now, I'm sorry this is coming out on Sunday. Like I said, I had some conflict with what I was going to be doing for my Saturday live stream. Instead of doing a live stream, I want you guys to have some sort of something to watch on the weekend. So this is kind of where this plays into effect. And then once my life settles down, my personal life kind of settles down, then we'll go back to live streams, because it kind of demands a lot. And making these videos, I can record 5 minutes here, 45 minutes there, and then batch edit and all that other stuff. So enough with my problems. But once my life kind of settles down a little bit, then we'll pick up the live streams again. Still going to do the beaver twist, but until then, this is going to be the series that kind of takes that position instead of our live streams. And yeah, so hopefully we can make this a chill and not so chaotic problem, but you know how these things roll. So I will see you guys in the next video, and like I said, it will be on a Saturday instead of a Sunday. Sorry about this one, but things happen, you gotta roll with the punches. So I will catch you guys later.